don't know if people have seen the wealth of material that's been produced in these Sunday papers over the last, yesterday and today, whereby they're talking about massive cuts to all kinds of social services that are on the agenda. I just want to read from the Financial Times. This is from the Financial Times. It says, the next government will have to cut public spending, pay, freeze benefits, slash jobs, abolish a range of welfare entitlements, and take the axe to programs such as school buildings and road maintenance. It continues. An online simulator developed by the Financial Times using the government figures suggests a saving that of the scales would require all of the following. A 5% cut in public sector pay, freezing benefits for a year, means testing child benefit, abolishing winter fuel payments, free television licences, reducing prisoner numbers by a quarter, axing the two planned aircraft carriers, withdrawing free bus passes for pensioners, delaying Crossroads for 3 years, halving road maintenance, and it goes on. Now, this is a programme which is going to meet enormous attacks on the social conditions of the working class.
What do the candidates intend to do to increase the availability of affordable housing in Oxford for the many people who don't qualify for social housing but who can't afford to buy property? Are there plans for more shared ownership housing in Oxford city centre?
Why does such a question come up? I mean, we're in the 21st century. You'd think affordable housing would be a basic issue for everybody today. We've got the technological know-how, we've got the wealth, it's a basic issue. But the issue of profitability comes into the equation. After the Second World War, council housing was part of the whole programme, which was actually part of the Beveridge report, in the welfare state, which was to actually defend British capitalism in terms of its new economy, to create a new national economy, to develop the health service, to create a healthy workforce, an educated workforce at the time, and housing was part of that as well. But it was also to prevent the working class taking the road of revolution. It was like a reformist solution to the crisis after the war. What we're seeing today, under conditions of global economy, these folks' most basic questions of council accommodation, of affording the most basic things like a house are now a thing of the past. Council houses are being sold off under Tory and Labour governments. Council flats are now a thing of the past under Tory and Labour governments. The cost of actually having an integrated council which serves the interests of the people that live in it are a thing of the past. And I must direct you all to this article by John Lanchester from the Guardian today. He actually says the most powerful forces in the world of UK policy are not our politicians, but the international bond market. 9 out of the 10 fund managers surveyed by the Financial Times said they don't mind which of the two major parties win the next election, because the spending cuts will happen anyway.
Would you be willing to have a commission of inquiry into the legality of the Iraq war?
The invasion of Iraq is a war crime. It is a war crime, for which those responsible must be brought to trial. It has nothing to do with democracy or humanitarianism. It's about establishing British interests in this vital region. The occupation of Afghanistan is just as criminal. We are for the immediate withdrawal of all troops. The Afghani people must take control of their own fate. The Taliban were originally armed and funded by the US in the late 1970s. Not only does the actions of the US and Britain help the Taliban, but the occupying forces are continuously trying to incorporate elements of the Taliban into a new puppet government. So whatever the result in the next period, you're going to get a regime that is going to be a puppet government of the interests of British and American imperialism in this region. Now, they talk about good faith. You had 2 million people on the streets of Britain. Were they given the wrong information? Whatever the makeup of the next government, its agenda has already been determined. The international financial institutions, the major corporations and all the official parties intending to make the working class foot the bill for an economic crisis that is not of their making. This issue is backed up by the Financial Times, and this quote I make, and this is why I've used these quotes, because these are quite useful. In that sense, it's not what we say, but also leading figures in the establishment of the ruling class. The Financial Times are actually putting this position forward. I just want to quote something very briefly, if I can. And this is again from the papers. It says, the huge risk here is simple. It is that the winner of the next election will have no real mandate to govern. They will be campaigned on a platform that bears no relationship to the ultra-Thatcherite and cut-dominated policies which they have to implement. Whatever the colour of their political intentions, there will be sweeping job losses and thrash public services go down with an electorate that won't vote for them. It is difficult to imagine a better recipe for mass social unrest. The new government will go from direct honeymoon period to poll tax riots. This is what's on the agenda in the next period. A period of enormous social convulsions. Massive cuts, 20% cuts in social services. What does that actually mean? It means mass austerity. That the only way that you can oppose such a policy by whatever government comes in is by real social equality. Now you can say, like the Greens do with the social equality. But how can they do when you've got a country, Ireland, which is virtually on the brink of bankruptcy, in a coalition government which the Greens are part of, who are carrying out these attacks on the working class and bailing out the bankers and the rich? If you want social equality, you have to oppose the system which creates inequality. And that is capitalism. Thank you very much.